Rite of the Quinceañera by Samuel Gaona. The quinceañera is an important time for a teen girl. The quinceañera celebration is a pivotal point in time when she is progressing from the stage of a little girl to that of a young woman on her path and journey toward becoming an adult in womanhood. In speaking to other authors about this book and their books, something I find fascinating is how the word quinceañera, it's such a buzzword in our culture. And it doesn't matter what context quinceañera is said. Quinceañera ceremony, quinceañera party, rite of the quinceañera. Quinceañera, that single word produces thoughts of dinner, dancing, and attire. Not necessarily in that order either. And so when people find out that I wrote a book called Rite of the Quinceañera, my two biggest obstacles are, well, I've got a son, or my daughter's not going to celebrate a quinceañera. On the other hand, my other biggest opposition is, well, I know everything about the quinceañera already. Or grandma and grandpa know everything about the quinceañera already. Or the godparents know everything about the quinceañera already. And perhaps with too many chiefs among the Indians, they don't want my opinion on how to celebrate a quinceañera. With the book being titled Rite of the Quinceañera, folks automatically assume this book is about the ceremony and the reception, about the traditions. In the book description, I've tried to clarify that this book is neither a party planner nor a to-do guide. This book, like the quinceañera celebration, seeks to honor the stage of a little girl while acknowledging and celebrating this new stage in her life journey as she is coming into her own. For those with sons or those where she's not going to celebrate a quinceañera, whether she celebrates a quinceañera or not, the teen will be gaining decision-making authority. As they prepare in high school for life beyond the diploma, there should also be preparation to use their decision-making authority with responsibility. There may be difficult conversations to prepare her to respond to controversial matters that are going to come up if they haven't already started. As Christians, we are called to love God and to love neighbor. That means we have a duty and responsibility to God in matters of faith. We have a duty and responsibility to our neighbors, whether those neighbors are in the pew next to us, attending a different service, or those neighbors out there who do not even go to church. A couple of neighborly matters brought up in this book are the driver's license and the right to vote. Obtaining a driver's license is more than being able to function a motor vehicle. There are laws and rules to follow. We also hope for safe driving, for her to consider her safety as the driver, the safety of any passengers, as well as realizing that there are many others sharing the road who deserve safety as well. When it comes to voting, this book makes mention of having the right, but does not instruct on how to vote. Responsible voting at any age calls for the voter to review the ballot and measures. A foundation can start here at this stage in her life journey, for her to approach the polls with consideration of who this bill hurts or who this bill protects. Whether the voter is in the majority or not, a clear conscience is invaluable to a life journey of peace. We desire our youth to be successful in life, socially and religiously. Therefore, this book looks into this new stage in her life journey so that she can begin this new stage on the right foot and in the right direction, because heaven is ultimately the greatest good for every soul. Now, for those who say, I know everything about the quinceañera already, once again, the title being Rite of the Quinceañera is perceived as only to do with the day and its traditions. Unfortunately, it is this short-sighted perspective that young ladies are receiving their quinceañera blessing. When they approach the quinceañera, they focus on the day, which is important, but the two stages in life being commemorated and celebrated are not recognizable or non-existent. I'm certainly not going to argue whether or not you know everything about the quinceañera already. In fact, I'm going to take it a step further and admit that some might know more about the quinceañera than I do. I've got two kids of my own. When certain subjects have come up, there have been sensitive subjects that require me to approach with a gentle, calm, reassuring voice. Other subjects, I might get excited or really worried, and so my voice might get more stern, a bit louder, and I might talk a little faster so I don't lose their attention while I have it. In my experience, my kids have heard my voice so much so that sometimes what I have to say is received in a dull, monotone voice, regardless of what tone or tempo I use. When my daughter was 13, my wife and I began to inform her about the quinceañera, traditions, meanings, and expectations. Whether we were at the dinner table or on the couch in the living room, a lot of the good information we were giving was being received with, uh-huh, yeah, okay. Now, this book was originally presented in class. It was designed as curriculum. And when my daughter attended the quinceañera prep classes that I gave, along with a handful of other young ladies also preparing for their quinceañera, suddenly the good information was getting through. She knew I was going to call on everyone, and she didn't want the wrong answer when it was her turn. And so a different setting helped that good information resonate. If you know everything about the quinceañera, this book would still be good for you and the quinceañera girl to read. Some of that good information you're giving that isn't being received by the young lady can take root. Or this book might qualify and back up that good information you've been trying to give. I've had several parents and grandparents tell me they've never heard some of this stuff put this way. I've had 13 and 14-year-old kids tell me that this has made some teachings easy for them to understand. You're going to be looking into several resources to prepare for the big day. You'll be Googling, YouTubing, reading other books, looking at magazines. You're going to be looking for the theme, the dress, the color. This book can help the young lady receive what we, the older generation, are trying to pass on to her for that day, as well as this new stage in her life journey. So buy it, read it, and then pass it on to someone you think would benefit from it. Rite of the Quinceañera by Samuel Gaona, exclusively in paperback, currently on Amazon.